Usually we'll say it is an ETL2.
Mhm.
But strictly speaking, it is a firm name. It is an organization name. But in general, we'll say it is an ETL2.
Okay.
It is a firm name. This organization is started by a person called as a Dillon in Redwood City of California in the period of 95-96. So Informatica is an organization started by Dillon in Redwood City of California in the period of 95-96. So if Informatica is an organization name, then what are the softwares developed by this particular organization? Softwares developed by Informatica.
Hmm.
There's something like PowerMart. So what is this PowerMart? It is a ETL tool. Extract, transform, and load. So it is an ETL tool used to perform extract, transform, load. But this tool is outdated. Right now, Informatica organization is not releasing this particular tool. The last version of this format is 5. After that, there is no releases in this format.
Okay.
Usually, whenever a client requires some ETL process, for him, we'll create one project. Project means to store his data, we should have some repository. So a particular organization is dealing with maybe 3 projects, for example. That means they'll have 3 repositories to maintain the client data separately. So in the PowerMart, we're having a facility to create multiple repositories, but only one repository can be in active state. That means you can work with only one project at a time. That is the problem what you're having with PowerMart. So it is able to support only one repository at a time. You can create multiple repositories, but active repositories can be only one. That is the reason it is outdated. So in the place of PowerMart, Informatica has released one more software called as an Power Center. So it is also an ETL2. Came in the place of PowerMart. It is able to support multiple repositories at a time. It is able to support multiple repositories at a time. You can create multiple repositories as well as it supports to make multiple repositories can be in active state. Latest version is actually 10.2. This is the number what you have mentioned at the starting place. So if any person is saying that I'm working on Informatica 10 means mostly that is a Power Center 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But along with that, we're having other softwares are also there from this Informatica organization. Something like Power Connector, Power Exchange, these two are basically applications. In the starting versions of the Power Center, it doesn't have a capability to support SAP system as a source or maybe as a target system. It is unable to read the data from the SAP system as well as unable to write the data to SAP system. It doesn't have the connectivity. That means indirectly Informatica organization is losing business related to SAP source systems or SAP clients. So they want to support even SAP system also in the ETL process of Power Center. So they came up with Power Connector and Power Exchange. These two are applications. Use it to plug in SAP components in Power Center 2. So if you are working with SAP system as a source or as a target, or maybe mainframe systems as a source or as a target, in those cases only will be using Power Connector and Power Exchange, otherwise that doesn't need. So mainly you will be working with Power Center 2. So in my class also I'll be talking about Power Center 2, how to perform the ETL process with the help of Power Center 2. So clear up to this point? Hello.
Yes.
So if you take the Power Center 2, what are the features of this Power Center 2? It is easier to but what type of software it is? That means what type of software you should install in your machine to work with this particular ETL process. So this Power Center tool is available in the form of client server architecture. It is based on client server architecture. You'll be working with the Power Center client's software. Everything will be stored at the Power Center server system so that you can work anywhere within the network area. But this feature is available from version 7. From 7 version onwards, this feature is available. Before that, it is a standalone software. That means it should be installed the complete software in a single machine, and you're able to work within the single machine. You're unable to share the resources across the network. But from 7 onwards, it became like a client server architecture. Next, it is web enabled application. That means you want to interact with server software. You should have some front end screen. That front end screen is developed in the form of web pages. So that's the reason I'm saying it is a web enabled application. So from which version onwards you're having an accessibility in the form of web application means from version 8. Before that it is desktop application. So when you say as a web application, definitely it requires some web container. So what is the web container this Informatica software or Power Center tool is using? Or what type of web containers you can use to configure your services? It works with an Apache Tomcat. Is one web container, as well as it supports to work even on JBoss also. So in 8 version, 8 maybe 9 maybe 10, all these things will be supporting to work on Apache Tomcat. But if you take JBoss, it is only 9 and 10. But for us, no need to install anything explicitly. This is an internal part of your Power Center tool. Next, it is SOA based software. This feature is available from version 8.6. That means web services support is available from 8.6 version onwards. From 8.6 version onwards, it is a capability to work with the web services. SOA means service oriented architecture. So these are the internal things related to software. But as per ETL process, if you take it up, so already I mentioned it is an ETL tool, means it supports to perform ETL process, extract, transform, load, but sometimes you may do like ELT also, extract, load and transform. So here extract means nothing but reading the data from particular source system, and L means loading the data into the specific target system. You may say target, you may say destinations. So you, from what type of source systems you can read the data, what type of sources the Power Center tool is supporting. It supports to work with RDBMS, that means the databases. Maybe it is a SQL Server, maybe an Oracle, maybe Natija, maybe DB2, any database, not a problem. Supports to work with the text files, supports to work with an XML files, supports to work with VSAM files, supports to work with HDFS file system, like this, etc. So whether it is a source system or a target system, it can be anything. It is not like a source and target system should belong to same type. No. For example, you're reading data from Oracle and you're writing data into SQL Server. Maybe it is valid. Maybe you're reading data from the text files, but you're writing data into SQL Server. Fine, that is also valid. So here source system and the target system need not be the same. They can be same, they can be different. But when you take the source system itself, sometimes there is a possibility entire data may not present in single storage system. You may use 2 or 3 storage systems also. When you say there are 2 or 3 storage systems, there is a possibility that they may be same, they may be different. Does this Power Center supports to work with these things? Means yes. It supports to work with homogeneous and heterogeneous. So from similar type of storage systems you can read, same way from dissimilar storage systems also you can read the data. Fine, reading and writing part is done, but in between these two, usually you'll be doing transformations. So what do you mean by transformation? Applying the business logic as per the reporting requirement. Here, with the help of Informatica or with the help of Power Center, what we are doing, we are trying to read the data from the business system and we are writing the data into the warehouse system. That means you are trying to read the data from OLTP, online transaction processing system, and we are converting the data as per the reporting requirement and you are placing into warehouse system called as OLAP, online analytical processing system. So in usually if you compare this OLTP and OLAP, business system and the warehouse system, business system will be in the form of normalized, whereas warehouse system will be in the form of denormalized. Same way in the business system, it maintains the detailed data. In the warehouse, it may not be required. You will maintain maybe as summarized data. I'm not saying the complete data will be summarized. Detailed data may not be required in all the cases. So that means I need to transform the data now from normalized to denormalized, maybe from detailed to summarized. So only maintaining required data, cleaning of data, all these type of thing with the help of transformations. So that process is called as transformations. It is providing set of built-in transformation objects, to implement required business logic. So like calculations, maybe searching, maybe filtering, etc. Joining, merging, various type of activities. So to do all these things, it is providing a predefined transformation objects right away you can use. But you thought that you want to develop your own transformation object. Is it possible? Or does it supports any programming languages? Means yes. It supports to create reusable business object called as maplet. That means you are trying to design some business logic with the help of some transformation objects. Maybe you have used like 20 transformations or 30 transformations. You have used it to design a complex business logic, but that same logic is required again and again in your project. Instead of redeveloping the same code again and again, you'll create as a maplet and you'll reuse this maplet into other scenarios. If the same logic is required, means you can share that particular logic by creating in the form of maplet. Next, it is providing Java transformation object, for defining required logic in the Java syntax. It's not mandatory to write with the Java programming language. There is a facility to do that. There is a transformation object like a Java transformation. If you take that, maybe you can write the programming Java syntax and you can do your required activity. But it is not mandatory. Similarly, it is providing stored procedure transformation object for implementing for accessing business logic or stored procedures from the database. So instead of writing the business logic in Java, maybe you can write at the database level in the form of procedure, and you can call that procedure to your Power Center tool. It is supporting to create custom transformation objects. If you want to create your own transformation object, yes, that is also possible, but usually will not do this. With the help of C language, or maybe C++ language, or maybe with the help of Java language. So with any one of these languages, you can develop your own transformation objects if required. Next, it is supporting cache management. One minute. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm saying that it is supporting the cache management.
Mhm.
So cache means it is nothing but a temporary memory,
Okay.
a temporary space, or something like that. So maybe when you are basically implementing search activity, or whenever you're implementing join activity,
Mhm.
so at those cases, you need to use a temporary memory. So whether you need the temporary memory or not, cache is required or not. How do you want to use that cache? Is it a reusable cache? Or you just for that execution process you want to create and you want to remove it? So you can tell all those set of specifications. Next, it is supporting scheduling. What are the ETL process you have designed? You can schedule it.
Mhm.
But in work environment, we will not use Power Center scheduling. Power Center tool is having a facility to implement scheduling, but in work environment, we will not use this. Will depend on the third party tools, maybe Control-M, maybe an Autosys, maybe DAC, or maybe Mastro. Any one of these scheduling tools will use it instead of Power Center scheduling. But Power Center is having that facility. It supports to implement export and import. You have developed the entire ETL process in a particular machine. Usually in the work environment, you'll call that environment as a development environment. But once it is completed, the client will not execute his project from the being in the development environment. That has to be moved to the production environment. Maybe first of all, maybe to the QA environment, maybe from QA environment to pre-production, after that from pre-production to production environment. So how do you move the project from one environment to another environment? Means by implementing export and import. Next, it supports check-in and check-out. Like locking and releasing facility. So once one user is developing that particular code, once he is in the active state, other developer is not allowed to touch that code to make any changes. So you are implementing check-in and check-out, nothing but like a versioning concept. So like this, you're having different types of features are there in the Power Center tool. But main thing is an ETL process, just reading the data from source system, applying some logics, and then writing the data to the target system. Just I'll show a small example on my system. So I'll be giving examples on SQL Server as well as an Oracle, but most of the examples I'll take it on Oracle database. But I'll show you how to work even with the SQL Server as well as text files, XML and all those things. But most of the examples I'll go with Oracle. So it is my source system. Here, for example, I'm having a simple small table, employee table, which is having 15 rows, for example. These 15 rows data, I want to keep it into my target table or destination table. So I'll open one more SQL Plus. And this is located in the target system. For example, I'm assuming that in my target system, I doesn't have any data in my target table. So I'll just perform extract and load. I'm not performing transformation. So if you record, you can do that also, but right now I'm not doing that transformation. For simply, I'll read the data from source system and I'll put into my target system. So I'm trying to open a tool called as Power Center Designer. I'm connecting to my repository. Here, just now I created one folder called as STEM 2020. So under that folder, I'll try to work. So right click connect. So I'm going with the tools menu, source analyzer, because I need to have the source metadata. Source structure is required to read the records from there. So I'm importing that particular structure with the help of some DSN. So maybe in the coming classes, I'll show how to create this DSN, how to create the connectivities and all those things. But right now I'm using it, which are already present in my machine. So here I'm having already a set of tables are there, but I'm trying to take one table called as an SRS_EMP. Click on OK. I'm capturing only the structure of the table, not the rows. So it is showing me the structure, like what are the columns, what is the data type, does it have any keys or not. Same way, I'll import my target structure also. So right now I got the source here. I won't have the target also in the similar way. Even that one I'm taking from database like Oracle from different location, different database. So I'm using a DSN related to that. My connectivity details are like TGT_user. Here, strictly speaking, without learning any database also you can work, because you are not writing any queries manually here. But you want to write the queries manually and you want to work, yes, it is possible. It supports native SQL. Means if your source is an Oracle, you can write Oracle queries. If your source is a Netezza, you can write the Netezza queries. Same way with the target. If your target is an SQL Server, write the SQL Server queries. So you can write the SQL based on the system what you are using. So here I'm trying to take a table called as a TGT_EMP. Click on OK. So my source structure and target structures are already present in the Power Center tool now. I'll go with mapping. I'm creating a new mapping. So mainly in the Power Center tool, in general, we'll be creating three type of objects. One is mapping, another is session, third one is workflow. So I'm creating a mapping on the name, for example, M1, simple name I'm giving, but you have to follow some naming conventions. So in the coming classes, we'll be discussing about that naming conventions also. But right now I'm giving simple name M1. After that, simply I'll drag and drop my source object to the mapping. So I'll be getting a source object, along with that one extra object will get called as a source qualifier. That is a transformation object. Exactly what is use of this transformation object we will discuss in the coming classes. But right now I got two things, one is source and one transformation object on the name source qualifier. After that, I'm simply drag and drop the target object also, and I'll map my source qualifier ports to my target. Is it required to map all the columns or all the ports? Means not required. Only required ports, if you map, it is sufficient. But right now I'm mapping all the ports. Port means in database perspective column, in Informatica perspective we're calling as a port. That's all. I'll save this. Mapping is completed. In the bottom description, it's clearly showing mapping 1 is valid. It doesn't have any errors.
No.
Once mapping is completed, maybe I can close this application. So mainly we'll be creating three things under this Power Center: mapping, session, and workflow. Mapping part is completed. So now I'm going for the next component. So Informatica client, Power Center client, Power Center Workflow Manager. Power Center Workflow Manager. So as it is separate application, once again connect to the repository by providing authentication details. Connect to the folder. I'm creating a workflow with the name WF1. A simple normal name I'm giving, but you have to follow some naming conventions. Click on OK. Within this workflow, I want to have a session to execute my ETL process. So I'm creating a session task, tasks menu create. I'm selecting session and I'll provide some name, S1. For the particular mapping, just now what we have created on the name M1. So when I click on create, it is showing the list of mappings which are already available. I'm selecting M1 because only one mapping you have created. So it is the name it is showing here. Select it, click on OK. Click on done. So like this, you can have multiple sessions. Maybe one is for loading customer data, one is loading for product data, something like that. Link up these things. Then provide connectivity details for your source system, for the target system. If you have any lookups, for all those type of things, you have to give the connectivity. So double click on the session object, mapping tab. My source qualifier connection, I am giving my connection as an RC source, which is already available in my machine. Same way, target system, I am giving connection as an RC target. And I'll change the load type from bulk to normal. Click on OK. That's all. Save this, and then we'll execute it. So before execution, if you go back to the database once, my SQL Oracle database source system is consisting 15 rows, whereas in the target system is empty. So when I execute my ETL process, all these 15 rows should come into this target table. So I came back to the workflow. Workflows menu, I'll say start workflow. So it is open another application called the workflow monitor, and it's showing that workflow is running WF1 as well as S1 is running. Session S1 is in a session, WF1 is in workflow. S1 is succeeded, workflow is succeeded. Just go to the database once and check it up. This target table. We got all the rows. We have not written any select statement, we have not written any insert statement, but still it is able to read the data from source system, it is able to write the data into the target system. If it is databases, maybe it is depending on SQL queries, but if it is a file system, we'll have separate logic will be generated internally. With the help of that, it will do this process. So complete ETL project will be working in this way. Only thing is, in between you will place a set of transformation